What's going down, ladies and gents? Do you have one today?
No.
Yeah. What's going down, ladies and gentlemen? How ought you guys be doing? Fine, I hope. Fine, I hope. Man, today has been a pretty fun day, actually. I got a lot accomplished. Hey, what's up, Anita? I got a lot accomplished today. I'm not gonna lie to you. I get quite a bit accomplished all the time, mainly because I tell you guys to do all the time, I like to write everything I need to do down. Okay. You guys know what I mean? I like to make sure that everything I do, I like to really kind of work at that. If I say I'm gonna do it, I write it down and just get it done. And then if I don't write it down before I do it, I'll write it down after I did it, then check it off, grab my red pen, and write done on everything. Love it. Got a lot accomplished today. Chris came and picked up on you, which kind of helped me out today because my other guy had an appointment. So good looking out on that, Chris. Thank you. That helped me to keep my word to Anya. So we got that knocked out. So yeah, man, today's just been a heck of a fun day. Got a lot accomplished. I actually found this dish on Instagram. I don't know what it's gonna taste like, but I got some stuff in the crock pot right now. Technically, it said it's not gonna be done until about 10 or 11 o'clock tonight. I don't go to bed till like late anyway, so it's all good. But I'm very interested to see what that's gonna look like. Now here's the thing. It's not my first time making something in my crock pot. It is not. It's not my first time. I've done this before. But, I went to the grocery store today and I was like, dude, I'm tired of eating out all the time. So I went in, grabbed some stuff, and that was kind of it. Offers, orders, pickups. So here's the thing. Let me ask you guys a question right quick. How do I go to hold on. I was gonna ask you guys, how do I go to Instagram to see if what my past orders are? That Instacart, I mean. You guys know how to do that? Like go into Instacart and like find the last stuff that you ordered? Because here's the thing, I got a receipt that says that I just bought something, and I'm not sure if I actually just grabbed it now or if they refunded me or what, but I did use it not too long ago. I just want to understand what the hell I bought. And it's not really showing me. You guys know what I'm talking about? Okay. Thank you, Christopher. I appreciate that, sir. All right. Well, either way, man, it kind of is what it is. We are just going to yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll check it out a little later. Because again, I do remember buying some stuff. I'm just not sure if I just did it. Like I bought some stuff recently. I did. I don't know. Anyway, anybody on Facebook, YouTube, let me know. How do I get in and check orders? Oh, I guess I could just go to. Okay, there it is. I could just go to buy it again. And I guess that could. I guess. Oh, pass orders. Here we go. Hmm. Okay. What is today? Oh, there it is. Okay, I found it. Sorry, guys. Man, you know what? Here's the thing. I was kind of scared for a minute. But yeah, no, I see what happened. Okay. Nope, nope, that happened. Okay, I got it. So apparently they had to put something back. So then they refunded it back or whatever. So it was like 84 bucks. So I just looked on there, it's like 84. So whew, dude, I use Walmart before the Walmart thing that they have. They have robbed me so many times. So bad that I literally had to go get my card switched out. So if I'm not at Walmart, I won't buy shit there. Like at all. Like nothing. Oh my god. They are god awful. And they take no accountability. If somebody robs you, they will tell you go to your bank, get the money back from them. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm like, oh, okay. Whatever. Anyway, let's get started. Let's jump in there. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we got a good one for you. I think. I got a good one for you. I think today is the final chapter. I think I got this in there a few times of the return of the elixir or the return and the rebirth. And we've talked about this before. What does it mean? What does it mean to return with the elixir? The elixir isn't always like an object. Sometimes it's just coming with a different insight, a different perspective, a different insight, or I've already said that, a lens on what you've seen before, and you've gone through something that you are now forever changed. Like Jeffrey Forever Unclean. And you gotta watch the league to get that one. But either way, so welcome. My name is Fearless Cummings. Thank you guys so much for joining. Here's the thing: if you are easily offended, I do apologize now, but I will also tell you this is probably not for you. I am a philosopher and also a life coach. I coach, train, and teach philosophical fundamental principles, right? Good, bad, and indifferent. Okay. So, giving you guys some tools, techniques, and strategies. This is what I do for your dreams, goals, aspirations, and even problems. If you guys need me for the next 12 days, I'm doing all this for free. We are on day, ooh, gotta change it. Oops, sorry. Oh, there we go. Day 88. What? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, day 88. Hold on, let me go to our. Can I get a Can I get a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Can I get a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Pretty please, sugar on top. Can you get a round of applause? Well, some of y'all might be asking. Thank you, Mr. Anita. I appreciate you, dear. Thank you, Miss Long, my purposes. I'm putting a clap on there. Thank you guys so much. So, why are we clapping? Some of you on Facebook and Instagram may be asking. Well, I will tell you. Hold on, let me shut this off. We clap for a few different reasons. Number one, we're clapping because we're on day 88 of 100. No days off. We have been going no matter what. Okay. The other thing is that we clap because if we don't clap for us, nobody else will. And the other thing is that we clap because we're giving you permission to clap for us as well. Okay. And you showed up to day 88. So I appreciate you guys. And like I keep telling y'all, regardless of whether anybody else show up, I'm showing up. No matter what. Okay. I love this. I will show up no matter what. All right. So here we go. Let's go. What is that, day 88? How have you guys been doing real fast about keeping your word? How have you guys been doing with keeping your word? I haven't really asked you guys, but I'm asking now. How have you guys been doing with keeping your word? Okay, Christopher said good. Actually, I've been doing very well too. How about you, Miss Renita? I know you're at work. Thumbs up a do. Okay, so today is the last installment. Yes. The last installment. We do have one more thing that we're going to talk about, kind of wrapping this whole entire thing up for the most part. But yeah, this is the last installment. This is the ninth step in the hero's journey. We've conquered the ordinary world. We answered the call. We refused it. We found our mentors. We've crossed that threshold. We got tested. We found allies. We found who our enemies are, domestic and foreign, which means in and out. We have survived the abyss. A part of us has passed on, right? Another part of us has been rebirthed. The eighth part is the revelation and the transformation. And I have this down as that, but I'm going to go ahead and put that with elixir. And then, like I told you before, elixir basically means an elixir is something that in our case is more of an idea. It's something that you've become. So it's not something that you hold. It's not something that you can see and smell and touch. It's something that's deep inside of you. I mean that metaphorically. That is. Or whatever. So today we're talking about what happens when you go back home. What happens when you go amongst everybody else with everything that you've learned. And this is kind of a story of what we're doing here right now. If you guys really think about it, you are returning home. You're returning back to the ordinary world with all of this training that I gave y'all. You know what I mean? You're going back home with the gift of actually, sorry about that. That is a gift of light, not a gift of sight, not light. Sorry about that. But you're returning home with a new lease on life. Okay. So our fun fact is, I don't know if you guys can read this. Turn your phone, take a pic, but I will read this part off because I think it's kind of. Hold on, let me see if I can. Oh, okay, it's not that bad. Might kind of suck on the phone though. Um, so rebirth, return and rebirth. It says in almost every ancient myth, from the Odyssey to the Lion King, the hero returns, and the hero's final act is not slaying something outside of themselves. Remember, we talked about that yesterday with that transformation that we find within ourselves. When you go back home, when Simba went back home, it wasn't that he slayed something before him. He had to slay a part of himself to go home, right? So, in returning home with a new identity and then realizing this, that the real battle was becoming somebody worth returning as. See, when he was with Timba and what's his name, Pumbaa and Timu or whatever that thing is name was, or whatever, he was just kind of hanging out, just kind of chilling. Right? This dude had real responsibilities, real accountabilities, all kind of shit. And he's all just hanging out and chilling, living a carefree life. But again, you kept hearing that call like, no, bro, this ain't you. Yeah, I know life is easy. But dude, your life is not supposed to be like this. You got a whole tribe that you got to take care of. What are you out here doing? Right? So in storytelling, this is called Return with the Elixir. And it's a part that a lot of people skip in real life because coming back changed means outgrowing people, places, situations, and even the roles that you left behind. That's what it means. It means that you have to you left that role. Now it's something different. And that's gonna suck. It's really gonna suck, man. It does. I remember I told you guys kind of about my journey in coming back home and talking to people that were still doing the same shit that we were doing when we were children. I'm not gonna have that same conversation. I can't have that same conversation. I have evolved. I don't want to talk about that dumb shit no more. How can we elevate ourselves? What can we do to elevate our families? What can we do or what can we teach to strengthen our principles? All right. How is it that we can work on loyalty? How can we strengthen our community? That's shit that I like to talk about. I don't want to talk about whose hood's the hardest. I don't care about what nightclub got the best drinks. Don't give a fuck. I could care less. Let me rephrase that. I couldn't care less. Right? All right, so here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm only here to help. That's it. That's all I'm here to do. But before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, do you mind? Do you mind if I get a hell yeah? Can I get a hell yeah, ladies and gentlemen? Pretty please, sugar on top. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there myself. Let me get my hell yeah. Christopher said, I don't even like nightclubs. I'm sure you don't, sir. Christopher said, I don't even go. I don't even like nightclubs. You know, I used to. You know I'm gonna tell you the reason why I didn't like it, Chris. Because of the parking. I can never find a parking spot. I can never, and not only that, I'm socially awkward. If I'm not learning something, if I'm not at a bookstore, a museum, something where I can learn something. I'm awkward as fuck. I've gone to concerts before and just stand there and just kind of look around. Just saying I do. Thank you, Miss Renita. Look at her. My mad scientist at work is still fucking with me. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. Hold on, let me do my. Yes, ladies, you are hearing that correctly. You know what that sound is. You are now entering the learning zone. In this learning zone, I would ask that you go grab yourself a pen pad or whatever you need to stay focused. Whether it's snacks, drinks, blankets, snuggie, charger, an umbrella on those soaky, wet nights. Grab yourself a flashlight and some candles. Put on some Kenny G. Get your reading glasses. I'm gonna shut this shit off now. We're done. I don't know, but it's kind of weird. And again, I told you I'm still working on it. I still like to have my little fun though. All right, so today is our final chapter of the return of and the rebirth, or the return of the elixir or whatever. So, and here's the cool thing: it says you can't go back to fit in. You return to lead. So, regardless of how you go back, you're not going back the same way that you left. Okay. So, fun fact, real fast before we get started: you didn't survive your own fire just to become fuel for somebody else. So I'm gonna repeat that again. You did not survive your own fire just to become fuel for somebody else's. Let wisdom work for you, not against you. Okay? And we're really going to touch on that. All right, let's jump in there. Okay, so you're not who you were. That's number one. The same room, same people, but you see everything differently now. So our question would be, what identity did I shed and what did I gain? And every chance and every situation that I have faced, I've always been faced with that same question. What type of man am I becoming? What type of man did I become based off of what I went through? What did I learn from that? Who's standing here now, gone through what I just went through? Who's a guy in his place? You know, what identity did I shed and what did I gain? And I love that question. I love it. So reality is, true growth is when your past can no longer recognize your present. I'm going to repeat that again. Reality is, true growth is when your past can no longer recognize your present. The man that Malcolm X was before he found the nation was not the man that he was after he found the nation. Two totally different people. Two totally different values. Two totally different set of principles. Two totally different rules of engagement. Two totally different belief systems. Malcolm changed everything about himself. Everything. Not just thought-wise, but in action and deeds as well. He had to change it all. Right? And the great thing about him is that even before he died, because a part of him that was in jail died off, that part of him stayed in prison. He gets out and he starts ministering for the nation. That part of him is now birthed and alive. Some years later, that part of him had to die. And then he went on to kind of go his own route, right? I mean, he was kind of excommunicated or whatever. And sadly enough, I don't know if you guys will ever read his book, man. What is it? Miss Renita, what is the name of that book that Malcolm X and Alex Haley wrote? What is that? The autobiography of Malcolm X. That's what it was. Sorry. He talked about that on multiple occasions, even on TV, that he wanted to go back into the nation. He didn't feel that what he did was so bad to be excommunicated. But what happened was is that people were jealous of him. He talked about that in the book multiple times. But being excommunicated, he had to move on. He had to start his own stuff. Right? And the thing that I love, the reason why I love Malcolm so much, and he is literally one of my favorite people of life, period, is the simple fact that when everybody else's principles, when they stop living by the principles in which they taught and talked about, Malcolm refused to go back to the man he was. He was like, regardless of how you live, I'm going to stand on these principles. It doesn't matter whether you do it. It don't matter how you do it. What matters is that I do it. And to this day, whenever I think about becoming a better man, he's the person that I think about. I'm 46 years old, and I still think about him. He's that person he's one of the men, the people that has fascinated me about becoming a better person, period. Regardless of what everybody else is doing. So, all right, challenging people. Thank you about that, Chris. Challenges people like blow things out of proportion. Yes, you're right. All right, so what do we do? So stop dimming. Okay? Stand in the clarity that you earned. And we all know where clarity starts. It starts from within. Clarity is understanding exactly who you are and not necessarily where you're going. That shit comes later. Knowing who we are and being congruent with our dreams, goals, aspirations, if you need to, but those values, those beliefs, even if you don't believe it, believe in me until your shit kick in. The rules of engagement that we live in, which is the rules of conduct and your principles. That's what clarity is based off of. Okay? All right, let's move to the next one. All right, so the elixir is the wisdom. And I told you guys that before. So example is that you left searching for success. Think about that. You left looking for success, but you return with insight. You return with insight. Let me ask you guys a question. I'm going to really ask you this. If you heard this chitter chatter and you can only go to one or two things, on the left, you can go and there's $1 million waiting for you right over there, right over yonder. Okay, it's about a day journey, but it's going to make you $1 million. When you come back home, you'll have $1 million. Okay, to your right, we're going to teach you how to make 10 million with the information that I give you. So, but here's the thing. The information that I give you, you can't buy it. You can't buy it. Oh, here's the other thing. You start from nothing. But you have all the information that you need to make $10 million. And here's the cool thing. If you go right, you'll make more and more and more and more. Not because somebody's going to give it to you, but because you learn how to do it. You'll have a certain knowledge. So let me ask you, do you take the million? Okay. If you go left, we'll give you $1,000,000. If you go right, we'll teach you how to make 10 million. Which one do you take? Left or right? If you go left, you have $1,000,000 in your pocket by tomorrow. If you go right, you'll learn how to make 10 million and more than that. But like I said, you can't take that money and go learn. You got to pick one or the other. Left or right, Renita? Chris said, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, y'all. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. There it is. Miss Renita said, to the right so I can spread the love. To the right so I can spread. Miss Renita, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that one. I'm going to the right. Because if I know that I can get $1,000,000 tomorrow, cool. But that's only going to last me so long. If I learn how to make 10 million and more, that will set me, my family, and everybody else up around me. That'll set us up for the rest of our lives. And that'll be generational wealth after generational wealth after generation. Because here's the thing, nobody can take from me what I learned. But somebody can, the next day, IRS can come take your money from you. The government can come take your money from you. But you can't take what I learned. You take that first 10 million, I just gonna make another. And then gonna make another. And then gonna make another. But if you take that $1,000,000, you get it once. And then that's it. That's it. Exactly. And that's what it is, Chris. It's suffering now to gain later. That is what the elixir of wisdom is. It's what you bring back. It's the type of man that you become once you come back home. Okay, so what's our question? Do I now carry that others desperately need? Excuse me. What do I carry now that other people desperately need? See, again, if I carry this pen with me, there's a few people who might need that pen. Not everybody, but a few. But when I come with what's inside of me, I can affect more than the people around me. I can affect them and everybody else around them. I get to bring something so beautiful with me. And that what do I carry with me that others desperately need? It is and I wrote this down. It's your level of understanding is what you now carry. It's your level of calmness that you now understand. Clarity, value, conscious intention. Conscious intention. Most people say what they want, but they not. They talk that shit, but they not for real with it. They're not for real with it. You got 1,001 people who talk about how they need help, how nobody's listening, how this, that, and the other. I've been here the whole entire time. Night after night after night. Have I not? Have I missed a night? Have I missed a day? In 88 days, have I missed one day? I was late a couple times. I let y'all know what was going on, but I was here every single day, no matter what, no matter who showed up. I came here. I offer free coaching, free Q&A, free training. I'm not even asking people to show up. If you want to, great. If you don't, great. That's okay. That's okay. I have to come because I said that I would. So the reality is that the gift is not the trophy, it's the truth. It's that perspective that you bring. It's the ability to reframe whatever situation. It's the ability to understand how beliefs are formed, when they're formed. When people sit around making fucking excuses for everything, you now know exactly what they're doing. Don't you? You see it plain as day. Right? So what do? Share what you've learned, but don't save those that are still asleep. What do I mean by that? Share what you've learned, but don't save it. Here's the thing, I can't save everybody. My job is to offer what it is that I do. I'm a philosopher. I'm a life coach that teaches philosophy, fundamental principles. This is what I do. I teach people how to reframe their lives and their perspective of life, period. And within that, we have a whole bunch of different things that we can help people with. Look to see how many people show up for that. My job is to show up. That's all I can do. I can show up. Okay? Number 3, you must reintegrate or redraw the map. Reintegrate or redraw the map. So example, you try to go back to normal, but it doesn't feel right anymore. Remember that story I told you about, guys, about when I was in my early 20s and I saw my friend before he died, having that long conversation with him. He's still doing the same shit. I can't do it no more. It'd be like me trying to go back to smoking. I'm good. Something I was addicted to for 16 years. I'm good. No, thank you. Right? I don't want nothing to do with that. Okay? So, question, what no longer fits, even if it once felt safe? Smoking felt safe. Making excuses felt safe. Sleeping on my friend's couch felt safe. Not living up to my highest capacity felt safe. Making alibis and justifications for why I didn't show up to life, that felt safe. Sleeping on a couch with my fucking kid, that felt safe. See what I mean? So the reality is that you can return, but you can't re-become. I can go back to the house that I was at, but I know too much now. My boundaries have been set. My expectations are set. I can't do that. Working for other people, I'm good on that shit. Why do you think I'm doing this right here? Why do you think, 91 days ago, I said that, hey, this is what I want to do. And the more that I do it, it just lets me know that, yeah, I'm right. This feels right. Right? Again, I don't give a shit. Man, I was watching this, I was listening to this group called Hollywood Undead. And one of the verses was that all the sacrifices that these young men made in order to make it. And they said we did 1,000,000 empty shows to just family and friends. So before we knew who they were performing for just the same group of people. Same exact reason why I'm doing what I do with y'all. I'm gonna show up no matter fucking what. And as long as it's within my control, my power to show up, I'm gonna be here. Okay? Reality is that you can return. Oh, again, we already talked about that. But you can't re-become who you were. It's almost like that. There's this phrase that says, once your mind has been expanded, it can never go back to the way it was. Once you learn how to drive a bike, once you learn how to ride a bike, you can't unlearn that. You now know it. Once you learn how to survive with less, you now know how to survive. See what I mean? Once you learn how to drive a car, you can't unlearn that. Not unless something actually physically happens to you, you're not going to unlearn it. It's going to stay with you for as long as there's cars and for as long as there's bikes. Hopefully, majority of these lessons I've given you will stay with you as well. But you can always hit me up and I'll always walk you through how they actually work. When to actually use them. When right now probably wouldn't be the best time to use this one. Maybe we should use this one over here. Okay? So what to do? Honor what changed and let go of what no longer fits. If it doesn't fit us, man, stop. Let that shit go, B. Let it go. Anya, who said that? Which one of them little ice chicks said that? Who said let it go? I know Miss Anya gonna tell me. Who said let it go, Miss Anya? All right, guys, guess what? Oh, y'all thought that. I know what y'all was thinking. Y'all was thinking, oh shit, he forgot to do Word of the Day. No, I did not. Word of the Day is sponsored by persistence. Persistence is the ability to keep going despite obstacles, setbacks, or slow progress. Staying committed until the goal is reached. Today's daily duality of persistence is, our synonym would be resilience, the ability to bounce back after setbacks. Think about that. The ability to bounce back after setbacks. So what is our antonym for that? Remember, the word antonym is the adverse or the opposite of persistence, which would be reluctance. Reluctance means hesitation or unwillingness to continue. How many people have we met that do that? That are just hesitant. They always hesitate, unwilling to be more, do more, reach out more, right? Hopefully, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna say. Thank God it ain't our crowd. It ain't our crew. Chris, you dancing? All right. What do you think about that, Miss Renita? How do you like that? That I, instead of doing it at first, I do it in the middle. Because I'm trying to shave what we do, not cut it off, but put it where in different places. So not everything is all at the front. I want to kind of move some of it. What do you think about that? How do you feel about me moving the word of the day to kind of like the middle part instead of like right at the beginning? Because look at that. We're still 45 minutes in, and we only have a couple more to go, and we're done. What do you think about that, Christopher? Moving what of the day or what of the week to the middle of our presentation as opposed to the beginning. All right, so slide 4, new burden, new balance. What does that mean? New burden, new balance. It means that, example is that people now look at you for the answers, but forget that you're still healing yourself. She said, I think it works. Okay, that works. Thank you. Chris said, I love it. I'm not going to lie to you. It might take some getting used to, but I think we're cool with it. I liked it. But people look to you now for the answers, but forget that you're still healing. So question is, how do I lead without losing myself again? How do I lead without losing myself again? So, and what did I write? Hold on, what did we write? So the reality is that wisdom must serve, not sacrifice. Wisdom must serve, not sacrifice. So what I'm saying is that wisdom is a tool, not a leash. Serve, but don't sacrifice your boundaries, sanity, or your soul. Okay? Where wisdom, we serve people. We help them, but we don't become emboldened to them. Okay? You still got boundaries. Okay? You still got your sanity. You still got your spirit. You still got your soul. You still got to tell people no. You still got to say no sometimes to people. Even though you can help them, you may have to say no. Shit, homie, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, what do we do in that situation? Set scared. Man, sorry about that. Set sacred boundaries between your journey and other people's projections. You gotta set those boundaries. They have to mean something. So when you tell a person, no, I'm good on that, it means, no, I'm good on that. Your word gotta mean something. And for some of us, our word don't mean shit. At least not to other people, it don't. At least not to other people. Your word may not mean shit to somebody else. Right? But if it does, humbly apologize. But try to keep it pushing. That's all you can do. Say, hey, I'm sorry, my fault. Didn't notice that. And then keep it pushing. Okay? Keep it pushing. So hold on, did we just read that one? Yeah, we did. So just understanding what those boundaries are and understanding going between them. It was Elsa. Thank you, dear. Thank you. Right? So set those boundaries. And if you guys remember, I gave you a whole list on how to set boundaries with people. If you need some excuses for boundaries, let me know and we can walk through them too. I got no problem with that. Okay? All right, last but not least, number 5, slide 5. This is the new world because you are. Think about that. This is a new world because you are. Remember, just like the Bible said, what happens in happens out. Happens whatever happens down below happens up above, and vice versa. Right? So the inner has to match the outer. Period. So if this is a new world, it's because you are. So example is the world didn't change, Your perspective then. Your perspective. That's it, man. Your perspective changed. Every book that I've read, I'm always looking for perspective. That's it. I ain't looking for shit else except that. I'm not looking for nothing else but that. Perspective. Every book I read, that's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm looking at. Okay? So, question, what am I now responsible for because I know better? Now, that's a deep ass question. What am I now responsible for because I know better? I love that question. What am I now responsible for because I know better? And that not only because I know better, but because I do better. Not only because I do better, because I am better. Just because you know better, don't mean you're gonna do what needs to be what it means to do right, I guess if you will. You know, you ever hear that phrase, if you knew better, you would do better? That's bullshit. That is bullshit. That is a hack. That is a myth. That is a fucking lie. Because I think we all know somebody to do the right thing, that part. To do the right thing. Thank you, Renita. But I think that we all know somebody who knows better but do something totally different. So knowing better does not mean you'll do better. Knowing better just means you know better. It doesn't mean you are better or you'll do better. Now, hopefully, because you know, you'll do. Hopefully, because you know, you'll do. But I think that we've all seen, well, it doesn't always happen like that, though, does it? Does it, Renita? Does it, Christopher? Some people don't know. Some people know and don't give a fuck. Chris, don't we know people like that? Christopher, do we know people like that? That know better but don't give a fuck. And all day long will try to blame you for their to blame you for their shit. Just saying. Chris said so true. Christopher said so true. We know people like that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Miss Renita, you were so right about that. So right. Oh my God. Oh man. Because here's the thing. These fucking hypocrites, dude. Claim to be Christians, claim to follow Christ. Christ wouldn't do a fourth of the shit you motherfucker. Man, Christ wouldn't do 3/4 of the shit these motherfuckers out here doing. You're destroying people just to do it for financial fucking gain. And here's the thing. I don't know, Renita, if you've ever read the book, um, what's the name of that book? By Uncle Tom's Cabin. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know if you've ever read the book Uncle Tom's Cabin. I read it some years ago. It was an amazing book. I mean, utterly amazing. And most of the slave masters at that time, and then, remember this book was written, I believe, in the 1800s. That book, the Christians during that time did not believe in God the same way that people do today. Not whatsoever. And they talk about it in the book. And so, first off, thank you for being honest about that, because you'd be surprised how many people I've talked to about Uncle Tom's Cabin, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I read that. I read that." Motherfucker, please. That's, and then I'll start talking about certain people because, like, first and foremost, let me tell you this, Renita, and anybody else listening to it. When in the black community, being called an Uncle Tom is one of the most derogatorious things you can say to another person. It's horrible. It's almost being worse than being called a sellout. When I read that book, I didn't understand why. Matter of fact, I did understand. I understood the reason why people didn't get the reason why people got so offended is because they never read the book. They heard that Uncle Tom was a slave and he was obedient, he was docile, he was this and the other. But what it also didn't tell you was that Uncle Tom died protecting two runaway slave girls. Master McCrae beat him to death because he wouldn't tell him where those girls was. Uncle Tom was the same dude who would be going around picking cotton, and because he knew that them girls were getting beat on all the time, he would take handfuls, pounds, out of his bag and put it in theirs so they wouldn't get beat. He would go to bed hungry to make sure that them girls ate. And he was just like that in general. In general. So I think that we can forgive the fact that the man was docile. I think that we can even forgive the fact that the man could barely read and write. It was illegal at that time, so why would he? But he held on to this idea and this belief of Christ. He held on to that man like most of y'all hold on to a shitty belief. And he talked about it, and he talked about it, and he talked about it, and he talked about it. And he loved the idea. He loved the story of Jesus. But even his masters knew. It's like, man, they took to that religion quick. I don't really need much to do with it, but our workers sure love it. Harriet Beecher Stowe is her name. That was her name. I was trying to think of who it was, what her name was. Harriet Beecher Stowe. She was an abolitionist. And the great thing that I love about that book is that it wasn't just about Uncle Tom. There were other parts. There was Eliza, there was Harry, there was George. There was a bounty chasing them. I mean, it was homeboy was over at one plantation, was sold to another plantation. Then that plantation, the little girl died. The homeboy got killed off too, and then he had to go down south where you meet Master McCrae. That's where we, that's when we're introduced to Sambo. And this is when I know whether or not people read that book or not. Because it wasn't just Sambo. Sambo was horrible, but it wasn't just Sambo. There was two of them. There was Sambo, then there was Quimbo. And they used to fight like dogs. They would sexually assault the women. They would steal their food. They would do all kind of fuck shit. So again, I'm telling you, when I know the book because I read it. It is an honor to be called an Uncle Tom. An honor. Matter of fact, Renita, you said that you are with the Nation of Islam. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talked about that book as well. He talked about that as well. That some people, man, they talk, but they not really about that. And you can tell the people that read that book based on the type of conversations that you have with them when they read it. But it was an amazingly, beautifully written book. Now, there's some people who didn't like it. I'm one of those guys who loved it. I thought it was a great book. I thought it had depth. I thought it had a great storyline. I love how all these different things came to be. It was a great book. So I don't know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think that tonight I'm gonna let you guys go early because it was just a few of us here tonight. Hold on, am I done? Yeah, that's it, dude. So tomorrow, okay, hold on. Yeah, Ms. Farrakhan, yeah, indeed. Yeah, the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, yes, ma'am. I know that he talked about it too. And again, like I said, though, man, that book was amazing. And no, he had also talked about that he would love being called an Uncle Tom. Love to be called an Uncle Tom. Like seriously, because that you're good. Um, but that just kind of means that it's just, one of those things, man. You know, just one of those things. It was a really good book. So if you ever get a chance to sit down and dabble in it, I would. It was a great book. But all right, ladies and gents, I will see you guys tomorrow. If I see you, I'm gonna be here no matter what. But I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow. You guys have an amazing night. I got some stuff cooking on the crock pot. I'm about to go get me something to eat. I'm hungry. It smells good up in here. So I'm gonna go get something to eat and we will talk later, man. She's like, I don't like that. Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, this one's a good one though. I traditionally don't like them either. I really don't. But this one, again, listen. The way I look at it, if the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan can read it and draw inspiration from it, I think that we all can. Just throwing it out there. But all right, guys, I will see you later. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Miss Anya, I will talk to you in a little bit. Chris, I will talk to you too, sir. All right, bye, guys.